Economos.
I say Economos.
I say Economos.
Yeah.
And he says Economos.
No, I say Econoson.
Welcome to Peacemaker, the official podcast with James Gunn. Coincidentally, I happen to be James Gunn, the writer and oft-times director of Peacemaker, as well as the showrunner and
You have a lot of jobs.
all sorts of shit. Yeah, that's right. So I am joined here every episode by my co-hosts. Tell us about yourselves, guys.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen Holland. I play Emilia Harcourt on all of the
Episodes 1 through the end.
I'm in all of the episodes of both seasons of Peacemaker. That's correct.
And hi, my name is Steve Agee, and I play John Economos, also on all the episodes that I'm in.
This is the official destination to go deeper on the HBO Max original series Peacemaker. We get to go behind the scenes. We have stories from set, all the secret stuff. We determine what's canon to the DCU. We discuss music and answer fan questions and more. This podcast is not safe for work. So if you're listening to this with your work, with your coworkers, you might want to turn it off now, unless your coworkers are really, really cool. If they're a bunch of cool guys and cool gals.
They smoke.
But if they suck, turn this podcast off.
On this episode, we are going to be diving into Season 1, Episode 4. It is titled The Choad Less Traveled, and it's directed by Jody Hill.
The great Jody Hill.
And we're also joined today by none other than Vigilante, played by Freddie Stroma.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Interesting. And remember, as always, we're going to talk spoilers. So if you haven't watched this yet, go to HBO Max and peep it. And then come back.
Peep it. Peep that shit. Let's talk about Jody Hill for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Before we talk about
How about
Freddie.
for 2 minutes even?
Yeah.
Jody Hill is known for many great things he's done, creating and working with Eastbound and Down and Righteous Gemstones.
Vice Principals.
Vice Principals. And Eastbound and Down was actually probably one of the biggest influences to Peacemaker. Like, I love Danny McBride's character in that. I think that John Cena's like the terrible superhero version of that character in many ways. So we went to Jody Hill immediately, and he was a great choice. He did an amazing job for us on episode 104. Freddie, you've never met Jody Hill.
Jody Hill. Yeah.
That's
we have
Because we had to, as we've talked about in previous episodes of the podcast, you came on late in the process.
Yeah, I came in late.
What was that like for you?
Intimidating, I guess. I don't know. It was. I mean, this was during COVID, so it was flying in and quarantining for 2 weeks while you guys kept filming, and I came in episode 6-ish, around there.
Yeah, it was weird because we had shot definitely fully 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And then part of 8.
And part, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So you were the only Vigilante in 6 and 7, but everything else, we had to reshoot stuff with you or have you do voiceover.
Which we figured out. It was we did one session where it was like 6 hours or something, and then we realized it doesn't sound. We need to do it again, but actually wear the mask in the studio. Yeah. So that's what we now do.
Oh, that was one of the questions I had for you, actually. I was like, did you wear the
just
mask?
Ruined your question. Sorry.
No.
No, that's
Thanks, Freddie.
Also, you may notice right now, he comes with a British accent.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about that is Freddie, on the first season, he spoke with an American accent the entire time.
Yep.
And the first time we went to do press with all of us and John Cena, John heard you talking in a British accent, and he was just like, what is going on? He had no clue that you were British.
I remember coming, I sort of decided I'm going to stay in the accent, and I met John the same day I met you in person. We'd already spoken on the phone, but that was, and just from that day on, it was American the whole way through, and he just didn't know.
Yeah. So this was actually the first episode you shot anything for. correct?
Yes.
So when you see those scenes in the car with you and John is doing them all for the second time, and you're doing them for the first time.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of material between those two long car scenes to do immediately coming into a character that you've never played before.
Yeah, it was like, hey, here's John Cena. Hello. We sit in the car and just off we go. And he started improvising. I was like, I was like, oh, we're doing this. Okay.
Yeah.
And like he just started like going. I was like, okay, we got to go back and forth. And then I realized that when you're with James improvs with you, so he's giving you stuff and feeding. And then it was just so much fun. And I immediately felt like, oh, this is going to be a great
because
shoot.
it must have actually been to jump right into something so big and so long, such a long scene with so much dialogue. I bet it was actually good because you've got a feeling for exactly what James's like vision was because of him jumping in and doing all this improv.
Yeah,
and
I
all
think in
that
a lot of
stuff.
ways, yes, but in some ways it was probably difficult because he came in and it was all Vigilante. You got to come in, say a few lines in a scene, watch part of the next scene, go into the it was divided up for you guys. You were 1/5 of a wheel, whereas Freddie had to come in and we kind of those first few days were just all Vigilante, straight through, just constant dialogue, and he didn't really have. It didn't seem like you had time to find your bearings so much.
No, I was kind of just figuring it out as we went. Because also tonally, like it's tricky to. I got to see an early cut of Suicide Squad because then they were like, "Hey, this is kind of where we're coming from," and tonally and stuff. And so I was, aware, but like it's a whole different ballgame once you're in the car and you're acting and you're doing it. And it was great. It's just John's so present, and so he started, and he's so warm, and so like that helped because it's intimidating. I've never met John Cena. He's a big character. He's a big guy. He's a big everything. Like, and you're in this car and you're doing the scene and. It felt like butter as soon as we started going. It was fun. Like
I still remember, like a really happy moment for me was because we took a big risk hiring you, and John got out of the car after we were done shooting the first couple takes. And he was like, "I get why you did this," and he was so happy, which felt good because he had to do all his scenes twice.
yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the episode. We're coming out of. They're leaving the golf resident. Vigilante has a mangled foot, and they go back to the headquarters. Myrn has a discussion with Peacemaker where Peacemaker talks about, he's okay with killing people, but he's not okay with killing kids without any warning whatsoever, or any reason, just because he's supposed to trust this guy, because none of them trust each other.
You also told me to kill kids. You didn't say why. Yeah, okay, one was homely. That didn't make it better, it made it worse.
Myrn says, "Is that all it is?" He says, "Yes, but we're not sure, and that's all it is, right?"
Because right now the world needs a son of a bitch, and you're the only one I got.
And basically, Myrn is like, "I guess we got to have Vigilante join the team now because he's
no
knows
problem
everything."
killing.
Yeah.
And we need him.
And we need him. Harcourt is mad at Adebayo for not making the kill in the last episode when she needed to, and she gives her a stern talking to because of this.
She says, "You don't balk ever. You don't ever hesitate."
I've never shot at anyone. Hell, I'm a pescatarian.
So you're okay with making that poor bastard's last minute of life the worst suffering imaginable because you're too much of a coward to put him out of his misery. But you won't eat a fucking fish. Got it.
I do eat fish. Pescatarians, we don't eat pork or
I
beef.
don't give a shit. She explains to her that she has to make the hard choice when necessary. You don't get to always do the thing that you think is the most morally correct. Sometimes you have to do the thing that serves the mission that you're on.
Yes, she takes that to heart. Vigilante and Peacemaker drive. Vigilante's being very passive-aggressive. Peacemaker is also getting kind of mad. They get into a little bit of argument. I noticed this season there's a lot of Peacemaker and Vigilante. They argue a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of bickering.
They bicker way more than I remember.
It just seems like under the surface you're kind of angry about it.
I'm not.
Seems like you are.
Well, I'm not at all, dude.
Okay, the way you said dude right there,
What?
seems miffed.
And so you guys break into Augie's house and you go into the quantum unfolding chamber, you steal the helmets, and even there you go, something about your best friend's pinky toe.
Yeah.
And Peacemaker is like my best friend. What the hell are you? I don't know who you're my, you're my friend's younger brother that he used to pick on. Like, that's who he is. And so that's when you see the gaps in White Dragon's armor. We see the White Dragon's armor, I think, for the first real time, and see that character, the superhero costume of Peacemaker's father's Augie Smith. Not really a hero. We have the famous confrontation between the neighbor and Peacemaker, where the neighbor says, "You're not a superhero. Batman's a superhero because he has a coterie of supervillains." And Peacemaker says,
You want to know why I don't have a coterie of supervillains?
Why?
My coterie of supervillains is 6 feet fucking under.
There, you see, Batman doesn't kill people.
Because he's a pussy.
He's a dark creature of the night.
and then he says he just keeps putting them in prison and they keep getting out and killing more people, which means Batman's responsible for all these deaths from Peacemaker's point of view.
Yeah.
That's not a bad point.
Kind of, yeah.
What do you think?
It's kind of true.
It's that typical, like, that the superhero, when do you, as you are a vigilante, when do you cross the line because you're not with law enforcement? When are you just as bad? If you kill, are you just as bad as? I mean, I guess that's more of a Batman and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
What
Batman.
we're actually dealing with is, like, do you believe in the death penalty or not? Kind of, because it's kind of like, do you think that people deserve a chance at redemption and to get the opportunity to change, or do you think that we should just get rid of all of the people who do bad things so they don't do bad things again?
The problem is our justice system is not perfect. And so sometimes people go to prison when they shouldn't. And if you kill that person, you can't take that back.
He's taking it much more seriously. I was just kind of making a joke.
Well, no, it's true. But I mean, listen, we can talk about it. Is Peacemaker part of that system? That's why Peacemaker, we don't even know if he's a villain or a hero at this point. He's somewhere in between. And that's some of the stuff he's dealing with. He doesn't know what he is.
You're going to end up in jail with your father soon enough.
What are you talking about?
Peacemaker then finds out that Economos put his father in prison. He goes to the prison to try to talk to his father. He talks to his father. His father calls him a chode. That's the reason the episode is titled "The Choad Less Traveled." And he says,
well, he kind of called himself.
he calls himself. He tells. It's one of the saddest.
Grower.
Shower or grower.
No, Dad, maybe I'm a grower, not a shower.
What?
I don't mean like a dick. I mean like a person, like a guy. You like more as time goes on. An individual you don't like, and then you learn to like.
You're comparing yourself to a chode.
Not in a bad way.
That's low-key a heartbreaking scene.
It is. It's like masquerading as this silly, ridiculous argument about a chode. It's really about Peacemaker saying to his father, maybe I'm someone who you don't like at first, but you grow to like. And he's trying to tell his father, I know you haven't, liked me, but maybe you can find a way to like me.
Yeah, maybe you can love me. And he's saying that in response to Augie saying that he should have murdered him, slit his throat when his mother gave birth to him. So that's how mean this guy is, and that's how desperate. That fact that Peacemaker puts up with that type of abuse and still says, yeah, but maybe you'll start to love me someday. Yeah. Shows you where this guy's self-esteem is at and what he has to deal with from a psychological perspective.
I like also even using that language. It's like, it's that machismo, and his dad literally says that to him. So he's like, how do I express that I want to be loved? I'll talk about dicks. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Enough about it.
So we go on. The dad, Augie, says that he is going to tell Song what's happening. Peacemaker leaves, and that's when Adebayo comes, and taking Harcourt's words, telling her she needs to do the hard thing, she very obviously, to us, the audience, manipulates you, Vigilante, into murdering Peacemaker's father in prison.
He just takes the bait.
And he just instantly, no hesitation whatsoever.
Yeah.
I gotta go do something.
Yeah, his best friend. Yeah.
He loves him.
I don't think Chris is ever gonna be happy as long as his father's around. I just wish there was some way he would just go away.
Clemson Mern finds this out and sort of attacks the group.
Like we're the fucking apple dumpling
He
gang.
calls you the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Which is a deep cut
Yes, and when
for people our age.
yes, I had.
For our
I
age,
actually,
it's not really that deep of a cut because they were pretty popular when we were young.
Every time I turn around, one of you is doing something fucked up. I thought Waller gave me soldiers. Instead, it's a fucking apple dumpling gang.
Classic pull.
I had to look it up when
Yeah.
I read the
Wow.
script. I was like, who is the Apple Dumpling?
I still don't know who they are.
Man, if you don't,
Oh,
did you know who they were?
dude.
No.
So good.
Well, you're British.
yeah.
They
Tim
were
Conway,
really
Don
cool.
Knotts.
They were really cool looking.
Don't
They
fuck.
seemed cool.
Don't fuck with Don Knotts. That's a great. You're hilarious in that scene.
It's
So
such
funny.
a funny scene.
So funny. I love that scene. And you're
Everyone's
like,
coming
why
down
is
on me."
everyone fucking you to me?
Yeah, why is everybody fucking you to me? But also, like, they might, they might think that Eagly, she manipulated Eagly into going and killing.
Yeah.
It's like, who's they?
Fuck with that.
The only person left of the room.
Hardcore. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. I also like the fact that when you call in sick, she has to pick up the phone and
And she
write
doesn't
it
give a
down.
shit.
Pretend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And it's true. She doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
she
whatever.
doesn't give a
Good.
shit. She also, I don't know. I think she's got a little soft spot in her heart for Economos. They've got a history. They've been working together for a while. And so she's like,
let
whatever.
more stuff
He wants
slide.
He wants the day off. Who cares?
But also, Chuck is great in that scene.
Oh,
Chuck Woody, who plays
Great in every
Mern, is he's so good in the entire show. But in that scene when he's yelling at everybody, it's very funny.
Yeah.
He is the ultimate straight man.
He is a straight man, but he's also not. I mean, if there's the straightest man on the show, the Abbott in the room full of Costellos, in some ways is Harcourt.
Sure, yeah.
So for people who don't know who Abbott and Costello are, which I guess is a lot,
They're part of the Apple Duck.
they were
Before the apple dumpling.
They were long before the Apple Dumpling Gang. But Abbott was the straight man and Costello was the buffoon. And there's always an Abbott, there's always a Costello. In Peacemaker, who is the Abbott and who is the Costello changes.
Yeah.
But one thing is certain, if Vigilante's in the room, he's the Costello.
Luke
Like,
Costello.
you get him in the room, and then all of a sudden Peacemaker enters the room, and if it's Peacemaker and Vigilante, Peacemaker's a straight man, you're the
Yeah.
Costello. But if Adebayo enters the room, you're both Costellos
Yeah.
and she's Abbott. But if Harcourt enters the room, then she's a straight man and Adebayo
Are the three stooges.
Are the three, yeah. It just really depends. It's always,
Yeah.
there's a hierarchy of straight
Yeah.
men. And at the top is Harcourt, followed by Mern.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's you or Adebayo next. I think it's Adebayo and
Yeah,
you.
I think so.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Judo Master escapes and he attacks Peacemaker. And then we have a fight scene between Judo Master and Peacemaker where Peacemaker is about to win. And then all of a sudden there's a gunshot and Adebayo shoots. And
Right.
this was the thing that she said she couldn't do. But she does it because she's not just being told to do that by Harcourt like she was in the last episode. She actually sees that Peacemaker is in trouble. And they have had this little, relationship that's been brewing.
Yeah.
Harcourt and Adebayo have another face-to-face in a scene I really like.
And this time you didn't balk, huh?
Do you think he's gonna die?
Probably.
I'm not cut out for this shit.
Harcourt, I think, has some serious empathy, maybe for the first time, for Adebayo in this scene where she realizes how difficult it must be for this person who has, shot her first person. Tells her
And admits that
it's
the first
always-
time she
it's
killed
always
somebody,
hard.
she didn't have her period for 3 months afterwards.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I had to do some research on because I was afraid that kind of thing. I thought,
It's a thing.
It really can happen. Yeah, you can really, if you have
Stress.
That's
stressful
right.
situations.
Stress can affect your hormones.
Yeah, and so it would
That's
make a lot
correct.
of sense that if you really had a difficult time with it. As it ends up, Judo Master isn't dead after all because, he's a Judo Master and
Yeah.
trying to kill that little motherfucker.
Yep. It's a cockroach.
But then we come to the scene, which is if you list all of the Peacemaker scenes from season 1, there's probably 3 sort of scenes that people would call out the most. The first is the dance sequence, obviously. The second is the naming of the names that'll be in the next episode.
Yeah.
But the other one is Vigilante and the white supremacists in the prison.
I'll go first. I'm grateful that black people gave us rock and roll music. Lynyrd Skynyrd, ZZ Top, 38 Special, all those guys owe everything to black American folk and blues musicians. I mean, they wouldn't exist without them. And then white redneck music would just sound like, well, what it sounded like before black people, which was the wet, sloppy sounds of fucking your sister. Okay, so that's my turn. Which one of you dumb sister fucking tiki torch carrying sloth from the Goonies looking pieces of shit wants to go next?
It's just so satisfying to see him beat up white supremacists. And then we haven't seen Vigilante necessarily be like that badass yet. He's still such a clown. So you're just like, what is going to happen? And so then when it flips around and he's really badass, he takes everyone out. It's just such a joyful surprise, especially when it's white supremacists.
Yeah, I think I described it one time as Vigilante is like Rain Man, but with murder instead of math. And as soon as that pocket opens up, it's like, oh, he's good at this shit.
Yeah.
He seems like such an nincompoop, and then he comes in and he sits down and he's just manipulating them so well into trying to kill him.
Trying to kill him, yeah. I was one of those scenes like so when I was flying over to go quarantine, I got all the episodes and I started reading them through, and I read that scene and I just went, wow, that's that cool. Like it's one of those scenes where you go, I get to do that? Like I get to play that character? Because I felt like slight imposter syndrome. I was like, I don't think I get to do this? Like it was just such a joy.
And you do it so well. You're so great in that scene. The moment when you're walking down the hallway, that shot of you looking just like
so good.
So like you don't have a care in the world.
Yeah.
As everybody's yelling at you and you just seem to be thinking about something else.
Yeah.
How that was to the Cruel Intentions Jawbreaker, one of my favorite songs in the series.
That was one of those moments because it was just before the other scene that when I read it on the plane, I was like, that is so cool. It just said vigilante, like inmates are like, intimidating, but vigilante's thinking about something else. I was like, oh, that's so good. I love that. And then as I go down that hallway, you can't hear because it's got the song and there's no sound from it. But those guys are screaming at me. Like I'm coming down there, they are this right next to my face, and they are screaming all this abuse and the rest of it. And I knew that I couldn't.
Yeah, and let me say, when you're getting background actors who look like thugs, you get some pretty thuggish background actors.
Yeah. It was, but I knew that, in that moment, I was like, my first job was to just not flinch and not, react to screams, just coming out of nowhere. So I wanted it to be, peaceful, kind of, chill, just doesn't care. I could beat up any one of these people. I'm not going to because there's only one that I want to go get.
Right.
So I was just trying everything in my mind, just to not react to these people screaming in my face, and just really chill and I'm on on an island and just go by, and it was easier said than done.
Speaking of Cruel Intentions, don't we have a message from Matt?
Hey James and the 11th Street Kids. My name is Matt from the Cruel Intentions here in Oslo, Norway.
Nice.
We got asked by James to talk a little bit about Jawbreaker from season 1 of Peacemaker. How it felt to be included and how it affected us. And where do I start? I mean, we couldn't believe it for the first, 4 weeks. We didn't understand how big it was or were going to be. I think we had 3,000% up in our streaming. It was a great episode, such a good episode with my favorite Vigilante kicking ass and taking names. All of us we were really blown away. Then we had 4 songs in the first season, which is crazy. In itself, 4 songs.
Wow. I mean, didn't realize that.
Together with the great bands like Hano Rocks and Firehouse and all the bands we grew up listening to, all of us. So it's still crazy, and it changed so much for the band. And I can't wait for season 2 and see what the guys and girls of the 11th Street Kids are up to. I think it's going to be even better. By the trailers I've seen, it's going to be fucking hectic. And we can't wait to see it. Also, we got a new album coming up next year. We just finished pre-production. All the songs are done. Got 13 or 14 brand new songs. So yeah, that's something to look forward to.
Oh my God.
So that's
great.
Matt's from Cruel Intentions, and this is no lie. Like
so cool.
Cruel Intentions are truly a great, great band. They have 2 albums out that are fantastic, and then they have a 3rd album coming out, which I can't wait to hear. But no lie, they're just one of my favorite bands that are out right now, and they are great, sort of old-fashioned sleaze rock, but also they're just their own thing, pure rock and roll, and I just love their songs so much. They're one of my favorites. So, we get out of prison. You try to kill the dad. You can't do it, but you do get to beat up some white supremacists in the meantime, so that's cool. Economos manages to get Vigilante out of prison. And then, Jen, your character, Harcourt, picks up Vigilante from prison. And then we have the short scene between Harcourt and Peacemaker at the bar, where Peacemaker tells you your tits look stellar, but there's also we find out there's something about him and his brother in his files.
Yeah. It says in his files that he was somehow involved with the death of his brother.
With the death of his brother. And then we have, I think, one of our best montages, another scene that's talked about a lot, all Jody Hill, to Faster Pussycat's House of Pain.
So good.
Great song, another great band, and we find out that Peacemaker is keeping Goff, which is the butterfly, alive in a jar for some mysterious reason, probably because he doesn't trust everybody. And we see Augie Smith forcing Peacemaker as a child into killing a man tied up into a chair as he smiles and Peacemaker sobs. It's an incredibly dark, hardcore scene. And I was really happy that Jody had to direct that scene and not me, because the last thing I want to shoot is like a sobbing child stabbing a man to death. And then we see a little snippet of Christopher Smith, Peacemaker's brother Keith, dying in the dirt, and him holding the picture to his chest of him and his brother fishing, and you realize this is some wound that's so deep in him that's caused all these issues. And then one more moment before the show ends, and that's when we reveal Clemson Mern, who's leading the team, is a butterfly.
Ugh.
Bwomp, 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 bwomp.
Cliffhanger and a half. That's one where you're like, fuck, I gotta wait a week to see this shit.
Yeah. Well, that's a great thing. People can go to HBO Max, watch that episode, and just go directly into episode 5.
That's right.
Yeah. This was
a great episode. Jody Hill did a great job. I loved working with him.
I'm sure I would have loved it too.
Yeah, I'm sure you would too. Yeah.
But baby,
You
you
really
got to
missed
work
out,
with me
man.
instead. So what can you say? I want to say, the song Spotlight is going to be on House of Pain this week. That's the song by Faster Pussycat. That was came off their Faster Pussycat album in 1992, and they're an American rock band from Los Angeles, formed in 1985, and I believe they're still playing together. They're still recording. I think there's been a lot of change out in who the musicians are, but you can see Faster Pussycat live. In fact, I think they played a couple weeks ago with Michael Monroe over at the Rainbow Room the night after we saw him.
Oh, the night after we went.
God, but there's some great songs. Enemy and Me, the song by Veins of Jenna at the very end is such a great song. I mean, I remember that one of the guys from Veins of Jenna wrote me and where in the fuck did you find our song? He was just shocked
Did he not even know until he saw it? Did someone say, "Hey, you should watch this TV show"?
No, they've got to get.
They have to get clearance.
Yeah, we have to get clearance, and so we had to contact them. But we've done that a lot. I mean, I'm crazy about music. I have thousands, probably, of glam metal, sleaze metal songs that I listen to, trying to find the right songs for the show.
It's such a good question. Like, in terms of how you find all of your music, like, do you go on to Reddit threads? Is it all just from Spotify? Like,
No, not at all. I go on Reddit threads. There's a sleaze metal website which I go to see what new releases are throughout the years. Yeah, so I go everywhere to see what new music I can pick up on, And then the algorithm on Spotify is great. It really, I mean, if I'm listening to all glam metal bands,
that's what you get,
it gives me on my Spotify, selections every week. It gives me all that kind of music.
It's so funny because when he's writing this stuff and he's got the songs on repeat.
I drove you crazy.
It just drove me insane. You guys, you can't even understand what it's like. This one particular song, I'm like, seriously?
Over and over again.
Are you kidding me? I have to listen to this song again?
The history of hair metal is very interesting because what happened was that was the predominant form of pop music for a short while, and then Nirvana came out, and overnight, people said, fuck you to this type of music. That music is stupid. It's cheesy. Nirvana's so cool. And so suddenly bands that were on their way up and about to hit it were gone. Bands that were huge suddenly couldn't sell any albums. And the only bands that made it were like the supersized bands like Bon Jovi, who actually made it past that point. And then Motley Crue, who made it past that point and still have huge crowds, but their record sales were probably down by, 75%. Mm-hmm. So all these other bands, the Nelsons of the world, they were just destroyed.
Yeah.
And it was really difficult, and it didn't make a lot of sense because some of these bands were really good. Music is music is music. And if the songs are good, the songs are good. And it doesn't matter what the rapping is like.
I'm buddies with Ahmet Zappa, son of the great Frank Zappa.
Yeah,
and he, after this season came out, he had me on his radio show, Rock Tales, strictly to talk about your choice of music for that season. He was like, holy shit, this is the greatest fucking soundtrack to a TV series I have ever fucking heard.
Wow.
Should we talk what's canon?
What's canon?
How about Matter Eater Lad?
Oh.
Hard one to say.
Matter Eater Lad.
Matter Eater Lad. In the comics, Matter Eater Lad is a member of the Legion of Superheroes, which means he's from the future. He doesn't exist in present day, and somehow he's either traveled back in time to the present day to hang out with Peacemaker and eat a Wendy's, or he's a different character who exists in present time. But I'm willing to say, okay, I'll accept a Matter Eater Lad. I think we can live with that.
Eat a Wendy's.
Hang on,
is the whole store.
Is this on the fly right now? Like, what's going canon? Like, okay, Matter Eater Lad is it? Okay.
Oh yeah, you haven't been on yet, so you don't know. We decide what's
You're deciding
canon,
right now. Oh.
what's not canon.
Wow.
We've decided that Dowlman's canon. We decided Batmite's probably not canon. We know the Justice League isn't canon. Anyway.
We, do some fan questions?
Oh, yeah, we got fan questions.
Eagly's airmail bag. We have our first Discord audio message, and this is from Justice from Memphis.
Hey, it's Justice out of Memphis, Tennessee, representing the 901. I had a question about Peacemaker's neighbor. I was wondering if, and this is a question from the community, if it was ever confirmed if that was Batmite, because there were a lot of theories going around that was Batmite or whatever.
Yeah,
and
I've heard it.
He was obsessed with Batman, so that'd be interesting to find out if that little old neighbor guy was Batmite or whatever. Excited for Superman. Me and my buddy seeing it day one. Thank you, James.
You got it, buddy. Justice, that's a cool name, too.
It is.
Okay, Mel Tuck is not Batmite. I don't know where that started from. I know he's small, and I know he likes Batman, but I liked Batman a lot when I was 8, and that didn't make me Batman. So he's not Batmite.
We could have Mel come down here and read these and called it the Mel Bag.
Mel Bag.
Mel Bag, right.
Mel Bag.
Why didn't we think of
Fucking A. Okay, this one is from Endorlorians. What is Freddie's favorite scene to have filmed?
Oh.
Ooh, is it in season 1 or season 2?
Let's go with season
1. Oh man, it's probably a toss-up between. I really enjoyed the prison scene. It was a lot of fun, but I have to say, I enjoy a back and forth a lot. And John and I had some really fun scenes. And some of the stuff with Goff, when we started going back and forth on what your favorite color is and that, and you started throwing in like, what about like you don't know what it's like to give birth or like to motherhood?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that scene in 107.
Is it 107 or 106?
Oh, it's 106.
Yeah, I think it's 106.
Yeah, it's my episode. That's right.
Yeah.
So that was
probably one of my favorite, honestly. Like, and then when you started throwing in, like, we just kept improvising so much stuff, and then we found one that was really fun. We'd already done John's coverage, and we're like, okay, we got to go. We then turned around again to get John's, because just for a quick snippet at the end.
Did I use it for when he
you
yells?
did. It's when I'd say something like, hey, he apologizes for something, and then I go, it's okay, man, and then he just starts yelling at me for interrupting.
That's right.
It's just so back and forth.
No, you're right. You know, I do surround myself with things that don't talk back, and maybe I just
shouldn't blame yourself.
Dude, fucking, I'm talking. Listen. Listen.
I'm getting this weird feeling that you're angry.
And that's what, I couldn't stop laughing. And then when he screamed in my face, like when I was like, I feel like you're really angry right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's one of my favorite scenes from the whole season, I think. I love that scene so much.
Vigilante does have a problem detecting people's emotions from their facial expressions.
And just like not knowing that he's like, I feel like you're angry.
Your face looks like a Dracula right now. That's another one that I like.
That's right.
Your face looks like a Dracula.
Man. Yeah, I'd probably go with one of those because any scene where I like can't stop laughing is usually joy. That when you told me to pee on Eagly, or like we're trying to get Eagly to take the helmet over, and then he's telling him, and I start just repeat everything John says to Eagly, and then tell me to like pee on him because that'll like excite your dominance over Eagly.
Or when you're being sarcastic, giving me examples of what sarcasm is, like sarcasm. I'm not worried about you having a heart attack.
The other one, the one we just watched yesterday, is our last episode, is you making the faces when you're unmasked is the funniest fucking thing to me of all time.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
If I keep changing my facial expressions, he won't be able to recognize me in a lineup.
And one of the reasons why I think it's so funny is because it works. It's like, it's not a terrible idea. And it looks ridiculous. It's like...
You just have to keep doing it because the second you stop, they see your face. So it's like, you got to commit.
But it's especially the two-shot with Goff when you're doing the jutting your head back and forth with buck teeth.
I think it's when you said,
I'm
like...
laughing so hard every
It got
time.
Sam to crack. And I think that was like one of those moments you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is
Sam, our DP, who is like just the coolest guy you'll ever meet. And it's just super,
Sam
super
is
cool.
the best.
But yeah, he does it. He's a pretty serious guy. He doesn't laugh a lot. So
I think he laughed at
when you
my
get
like
him to
smarmy
break,
whatever.
When you get him to break, it's something special.
That like smarmy whatever.
The smarmy man. Oh yeah, that's what. Because I remember going, do smarmy again, man. Do smarmy man again. Do smarmy man again.
And it took me a second. I was like, what's? Oh, okay. I guess that is a smarmy guy. I was trying to go through every different emote to like give a different. Thing.
Oh my God, it's so funny. The tongue. Okay, what do we got?
Our next question is from @SteveDaguru7. Does Judo Master have any metahuman powers / abilities? If not, he can really take a beating / gunshot well. Did he really move his kidney up in place of his heart like some of the martial arts greats?
I like how now we've actually, because Peacemaker says that,
now
he actually believes the martial arts greats have moved their kidneys
replacing
up.
organs.
Welcome to fake news.
Never killed a man before.
Oh, you still haven't. These martial artists, they are hardcore. Their heart stops beating, they just concentrate and move a kidney up into its place, and the kidney circulates the blood through the system.
I think Judo Master has an especially deep and profound control over his body in a way that normal people don't. Whether this is a result of anything meta or if it's just the result of a lifetime of training his body to attend to his every whim.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But he's definitely very powerful. He can take a beating, but I don't also think that he turned his kidney into his heart.
All right, finally, from @JoshMoEnt, what is Vigilante's favorite song? Maybe not this episode, but like in general, what would you think?
I mean, Barbie Girl was up there.
Yeah,
It's his ringtone.
That is his ringtone.
I'd probably think that, and then I'd also think, like, it could be a Swift song when he says, like, when he gets my phone and he's like, Taylor Swift, like, hot, sexy butt. He's like, oh, no, that's because I was trying to find pictures of her sexy butt.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
trying to act like he wasn't.
He does
but
love.
that is just, he does love that. So
I think his taste is very different than Peacemaker's. He'll like anything Peacemaker likes, but I think left to his own devices, he's going to veer more towards pop.
yeah, that probably makes sense.
I would like to see the Vigilante spin-off series with the pop soundtrack. That sounds awesome.
Oh, God, yeah. Like
I
real
can't
modern
wait
pop.
for
That'd be a
that.
nice expensive one.
Yeah, but like all tween music. You know, it's like all like, yeah.
Well, so thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. This was really awesome.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right. In the next episode, we'll be talking about Season 1, Episode 5. Stream Peacemaker on HBO Max to watch along with us. Joining us in the studio for that episode will be Chukwudi Iwuji, who plays Clemson Mern. New episodes of this Season 1 Rewatch podcast drop Mondays and Thursdays. You can catch our podcast on HBO Max, the HBO Max YouTube channel, and wherever you get your podcasts. This has been a DC Studios Showcase presentation.
I notice you pronounce Clemson in the same way that John does, which is Clemson.
What else? How else would you?
Clemson.
Clemp?
Clemson. It's S-O-N.
Clemson and wait.
Clemson. What am I saying?
Clemson.
Clemson.
You like
Clemson.
S-E-N. John says it the same way, and I always, every time I see him
You want me to say
it-
Clemson?
No, I don't want you to say anything. I don't know. Clemson or Clemson.
You say Clemson?
Yeah, Clemson.
Clemson.
That's how you spell his name.
Clemson.
It's Clemson or Clemson.
Clemson and Economos.
I say Economos.
I say Economos.
I
And
say-
he says Economos.
No, I say Econoson.
I say diabetes.
Do you guys need me to do that again?
This was an OBB sound production for HBO Max and DC Studios, hosted by James Gunn, with co-hosts Jennifer Holland and me, Steve Agee. Executive producers for DC Studios are Phil Sopanides and Gary Barbosa. Executive producer for HBO Max is Becky Rowe. Executive producers for OBB are Michael D. Ratner, Scott Ratner, and Toby Lawless. Special thanks to, from DC, Mike Pilata and Victor Diaz. And from HBO Max Design, Tom Haskard, Martha Duarte Diaz, Ryan Cronin, Brett Krause, and John Northway. Producer, Toby Lawless. Producer for HBO Max is Aaron Kelly. Research producer, Jesse Holland. Associate producer, Tessa Bartholomew. Associate producer, Chris Stitt. Production manager, Kevin Lynn. Studio coordinator, Elijah Matias. Director of photography, Keith Gresham. First assistant camera and camera operator, Chris Piper. Gaffer, Arthur Garcia. Key grip, Jake Reeder. Sound mixer, Josh Falcon. Sound mixer, Darren Bowling. Post-production supervisor, Mariana Cristostomo. Lead editor, Jesse Holland. Editor, Louis Sinibaldi. Assistant editor, Mark Alcacid. Hair and makeup artist, Kendall Shannon. Director of creative development and social strategy, Lenore Castro. Senior coordinator, creative development and social strategy, Sharif Bakari. Production assistant, Antonio Cavallo.